Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. And we're very glad with Cécile to share with you our experience, which I think it's a kind of experience of a life. The objective of our webinar, we did one 2 weeks ago and another one today, is to give you some insights and also because a lot of future Gazelle or sponsors or friends wanted to have the story of the adventure. We decided to group everyone and be able to do that online, so that's easier for everyone, and you're able to ask questions as well. So just for those who don't know what the Rallye Aïcha Gazelle is, it's a 100% women rally in the south of Morocco, in the desert, in the south of Morocco, and it's sort of orientation competition challenge because you don't have GPS, you just have old maps from the 60s, black and white, and you have the old tools to be able to orient yourself in the desert, and that's it. And the objective of the race is to be able to do the fewest kilometers per day by pointing the maximum number of tags. Usually we had like between 7 and 8 tags. In 2021, we eventually left in 2021. We're supposed to leave in March to 2020, and because of COVID, obviously, we had 5 reports, so we had to wait until September 2021 to leave for the 30th birthday anniversary of the rally. We were 190 teams. I think we were a little bit less at the end. I think it was 176. Maybe there was few who had COVID before the departure, so they were not able to leave, which was very sad. But so we were about 380 women, 14 nationalities. The average is 44 years old. It's not that young. The oldest being 70 and the youngest 20. There was 145 4x4, but it's not only 4x4 because there was 1 truck as well, 9 crossover, 20 SSV, 2 quads, 3 teams of buggy, electric buggy, and 10 teams electric vehicles. Why not us? Because we decided how, I mean, sometimes we were wondering, in the middle of adventure, why we here? I don't know, it's the kind of question it's the kind of thing where someone is saying, okay, we're going to do that challenge, that rally. It rings something inside you, I think. And for my part, it was, I've always been fascinated by the deserts. I've traveled in many of them, in Egypt, in Chile, in different parts of the world. And that's something that always fascinated me. And the Paris-Dakar race as well. I think it's something that when I was young, I was really fascinated by that as well. So I don't know, when the 2 other Gazelle from our federation came to us and say, we're going to do that, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. And I asked Cécile, why don't you don't want to do that with me? What do you think? And she said, well, yeah, why not? I mean, it's the kind of thing where you don't have to think about it, otherwise you never do it. So anyway, we went to Nice in March 2019. Can you go down?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. And we we had that information meeting in Nice in 2019 March, when we saw the rally left the rally 2019, and then we decided, you know, we wanted to do it, so we subscribed that day, and Cécile cut a check of the entire amount of the participation. So I was like, oh my God, you know, this is it, now we have to do it. So to do it, then you've got some trainings, as you can see, you know, the organization Manga, which is a very well experienced and very serious and well organized people. They organize a weekend of navigation in Avignon for 2 days, where you learn how to use a map, how to use the tools, how to, you know, and how to forget about your GPS, basically. Then we did another training. We did a training in Morocco with friends who train us in the desert with their 4x4. So that was for a week. And this is something really, we thought it was really important for us to spend a week training there, because we saw during the rally, there was many gazelle that never been there, never tried, you know, to drive in the desert. So we thought, you know, that something should be done. It's a necessity, we think, to go in South Morocco to train before you arrive and start. So really, and we did 2 more training in the south of France with Janet James, who won the rally a few times, and she's a trainer, an excellent trainer. And so we did 2 2 weekends as well with her. So why also we wanted to do it is because it is inspiring very strong human value that we share, which is courage, transcendence, loyalty, mutual aid, environmental and solidarity commitments. And for us, there were, you know, all very strong values. We started our venture by putting a sponsorship document, you know, that you've got to spend some time on it and find sponsors. We did all our communication, whether it's you know, the website or the business card, the t-shirts, the logo, everything. And I've got to say that Solène, who's part of Cécile's team, she's the one who took care of all the communication and the social networks, you know, animates very, very, very well, and in a very dynamic way, before, during, and after the rally. So I wanted to say, you know, we were very fortunate to have Solène helping us and support us with her job. So
thanks, Anne. If you
and then the departure, I think I'm dealing with the departure. No, or you
yeah.
do the departure, or I do it?
Yeah, I can do it. Thanks you very much. Can you hear me well? Everybody can hear me well? Anne, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I thank you, Anne, for all the presentation from this nice birth of the adventure. And I recommend all the participants to start putting some questions in the dedicated area, Q&A, and eventually messages. So I will deal now with the departure, how it was organized from the beginning up to the different steps of the rally. So basically, we both joined Nice. I started first to come from Lille to Marseille to finalize all the what we needed to prepare before the rally and prepare the car. And it was a few days before departure. Then we went to Nice together. And from Nice, there was a nice organization of departure with a lot of people there and some concerts and so on. And then we went from Nice with the boat to Tanger, north of Morocco, 37 hours with the boat, which is very nice because it could give us some time to get some training about navigation, get to read the rules of the rally, to make sure we were in big phase with the rules, and could also understand what we need to do to make sure we will not get out of the rally or get out of the different steps. And so that's what we did. And then from Tanger, we went down to Meknes. We had already almost one day drive. And then from Meknes went down to Erfoud, where we got to mainly participate into a first meeting. So if we go down to all the details, you can see that from the big departure in Nice, first you get some technical checks and administrative checks. So it was already a big moment, because we were happy to get tested negative for COVID, and we also were happy that all the checks were perfectly done in terms of mechanic and in terms of all equipments we need to take. You can see the different positions that were checked by the Mayenga team. We also got some specific meeting with Marina and Dominic, whom you can see at the right side of the picture, to give us some more explanation about what will happen during the rally and from the departure to the final area in Essaouira. So then we went with this nice moment in Nice, where we got the flash mob on the Avenue dance with Jean-Marc Généreux. We got some group picture. We got some goods that were given to us, some gifts and so on. And then we finally could pass the departure line and go to the boat. So that's the first already big moment. In the 37 hours we got into the boat, as you can see, we could check all the navigation. And of course, even if Anne was dedicated to navigation, I was always also taking the moment to check that I am also able to navigate in case we need to share some elements. So this is very important. In the same way we did the training when I was driving, that Anne was also driving. In case something happens, we can both exchange our views and exchange our skills. So departure was, as I said, from Tanger to Meknes to Erfoud, which was a nice moment we could share already with the team 110, whom you can see on the picture. We were both teams from OSCI, our major sponsor. And the day of the departure, there was a training. And before that, we could manage to visit Cœur de Gazelle, which is the association we were supporting. And we could see also some children who were given some gifts, some bicycles, and the first stone was put to build a school, which was also giving to the local population a lot of attention. And thanks to Cœur de Gazelle, which is the association dedicated to all all the social services and medical services. The briefing before departure was held in air food in a hotel, and this was already a nice moment. And finally, in the afternoon, we could manage to do some tests, a few hours testing in the desert, how we were reacting with the maps, we were reacting with navigation, with the drive, and it was already a nice moment to share, to understand if we were ready for the D-Day, which was the day after. So from the 23rd to the 30th of September, and I will pass on to Anne, who will explain you the different steps.
The step one, what did we call the step one? I don't remember. The step one, I think it's you know, the first day when we after the prologue, you know, and you can see, as you can see, you know, on that slide, it's what the people behind the screen were able to follow on live, you know. So our friends, family, my husband, you know, it was like all day long on the live, trying to see, you know, what's going on. Why do we, because you have the draw here where it's the direct line where you should, you know, go from one flag to another one. And then, you know, sometimes when you're out of it so much, it was like panicking. It's like, what is she doing? So, and this is very, very good, because you can see once you come back and you see every day, you can see like that you getting it, you know, like you learn how to actually navigate better. And that's very interesting intellectually, to see that day by day you're getting better at what you do. The day two, when the Merzouga dunes, we decided to do the first level, because there's 3 levels. I mean, the third one is like, you know, nearly professional, very high level. The second is medium, and the first, we decided to do the first because it was our first rally, and we didn't want to overdo, and it was day 2. So we, it was tough, because I mean, I think the most difficult, I mean, I don't think it's the most difficult, but it's most, I don't know, it's something that you're scared about the dunes always, you know, it's a sort of a scary moment. It's like, oh my God, we're going to be in the dunes, you know, we're going to get the car on the sand, you know, every 2 minutes, etc., etc. Actually, it was not that bad. Okay, so we just had more of a navigation problem than a driving problem. I should say that Cécile was pretty good at driving in the dunes, for sure. Then you've got day 3, day 4, a marathon. Marathon is, we had in the along the 9 days of competition, we had 2 marathon. Is when you leave the camp in the morning, they give you your roadmap for 2 days in a row. Okay, and you sleep. You're not coming back in the general camp. You're staying in the desert, so you can go forward the day, you know, the following day. So it's a 2 days marathon. At first, we thought it was going to be weird to be in the middle of nowhere and not with a lot of people. And actually, it's really, really nice experience, because we're not alone, though. We were like, I don't know, maybe 25, 30 people. But you know, you're really in the desert. There's no noise. You know, it's very, very interesting and a nice feeling. Very good. So so we at some point, you know, as you can see, sometimes we were able to meet with the other team, our, you know, our colleague from the team 110 from our federation. As soon as we could, we were trying to join. So the marathon is a very good experience. Crossing, I should say, if you see, you know, the landscape on the picture there, satellite picture, you see there's a lot of different landscape that we had to cross between, you know, dunes, sand, rock, mountains, you know, very different every day. And so after the marathon, you had one more day, and then a last marathon to finish with. And I should say the step number 5, I think, was our most complicated day, because that day, it was September 28th, actually the day of my husband's birthday, where at the end of the day, I'm like, it rings a bell, September 28th. So you can see how disconnected you are, you know. And that day, it was probably one of the toughest, I mean, for us at least, but one of the toughest day in terms of, you know, navigation, landscape, and driving, everything. It was, we had like 55 degrees, so it was very hot. A lot of gazelle went back to the camp at like 2 to 3 p.m. and we decided we wanted to go forward. And we went forward and we checked all the how do you call them? The banners, you know, and the flags,
The checkpoints.
the checkpoints, and if you know, at the end of the day, we ended up at 8:30 p.m. in the middle of the night, not back in the camp yet. So we really, I think it was one of the most challenging moments in our life, with a lot of laugh and cry and everything, you know. Then you have to navigate thanks to the stars, and we ended up at the camp at 11:30 p.m. after 3 hours in the dark desert. And really, when you come back and you've done that, you're like, okay, we can do everything now, you know. There's nothing can stop us in doing, you know, crazy things, and there's nothing too difficult. It's amazing how all the resources that you can have deep down in you. So I'll let you talk about the arrival.
Yeah, for sure. I still have goosebumps for this moment that we shared, and I also wish to insist on a few details, which is really were important to us when we were into the night, which was full black, and you have no possibility to see where you can go, but you have to do 20 kilometers back to go to the camp, of course, and you are into different landscapes, which can be dunes, they can be stones, they can be holes, and of course we were also tanked in the desert, so we had to put the sand out in the dark, in the black, and the only way we could manage to go back to the hotel was to raise the head and see what can be useful to go back to the camp. And at this moment, we could manage to see the different stars, and thanks to the position of the stars, we could manage to go back to the camp. And another important moment was to understand also, when we were out of on the hill, on the top of the dunes, to switch off the lights and understand what we could see. The yellow lights were the cities and the white lights were the camps. So it was also helping us. So these were really completely different ways to navigate and to drive in the dark. So we really had this, as Anne was mentioning, go deep inside us to find resources and help each other as a team to get rid of this moment and reach the camp. So that was a very important moment. And the arrival, so at the first arrival was the one you can see on the left in the picture, was the arrival in the desert. And this is where we understood we made a big thing the day before, because thanks to all these checkpoints we could go and take, we could manage to have a higher position in the general group, and that was important. So we really enjoyed. And then just after this night of arrival that is in the general camp, you have the day after, you go and drive another full day to Essaouira to manage to reach the seaside and get lower into the temperature. There's a big difference between the temperature in the dunes and the desert and temperature by the seaside, almost 10-15 degrees less. And we managed on the Saturday to basically get the arrival on the sand with nice surprises, such as the pilots from the official Moroccan air pilots team, and some nice moment in the gala that was held on the Saturday evening with a concert of Yannick Noah and a few more singers, local singers. And we were happy to be back into also nice dresses. And that was also a very nice moment. So regarding the adventure, maybe Anne, you can move forward to share some more experiences. And I invite again all the people to put down the questions so that we can answer them after we finish in a few minutes this presentation.
No, I mean, there was some interesting challenge. I mean, for sure, reading a maps and understanding it, especially because and also like one day they decided to give us some blind maps. So you had to still put your GPS point, I would say, and deal with it. So I mean, that's the kind of thing where you don't think you're able to do it actually, and when you do it, and that's why I mean I think we really need to rely and trust ourselves, you know, to do things that you think you'd never be able to do it. So the reading the maps are a big challenge. For me, putting up the tents every day and put it down was a challenge too. Passing through the dunes were a challenge, and I think really Cécile is very good at that, and because I'm not into that at all, you know, like, you know, it was a real challenge for me. So I was so glad she had the knowledge of really driving through the dunes, and we've learned so much between the, you know, navigation, spending like 14 hours or more than that, because we're sleeping in the same tent. So it's like 9-10 days. Or even the 2 weeks, even before the rally itself and after, to spend 2 weeks, 24 hours a day with your partner in you know, we thought was going to be tougher, but actually we prepared that a lot with a coach who make us understand, you know, the way the other one will react in a situation of stress and danger and etc. So we know what to expect one to each other. I think that was very interesting to do that work with a special trainer for that, a coach. So teamworks, you know, and go over your what you think your capacity are, which they're actually much stronger than that. And yes, we got a good ranking. You know, we arrived 29 out of 145, and we arrived 12 in the for the first participants selection. So we, you know, we were quite happy, because obviously when you do that for the first time, it's not a question, you know, to do a good ranking. You just want to be, you know, to come back safe and not to break anything in the car. And but obviously along the competition, if you have a little bit of competitive spirits, obviously you get into the game. That's a good thing about it. We had many, as you can see, sponsors that we really thank again. They're all wonderful. They were all so supportive. And we really, you know, want to thank them again. Cécile, I think you deal with the communication now.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So yeah, as you said, thanks again to all sponsors and coach, and we could manage to go through a nice moment. Regarding the communication, there was a very important preparation. Again, thank you to Solène, who did a lot of work as in the communication, because she could open up and follow up social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, and there were lots of communication before the rally for each sponsor, during the rally, every day. And if you can still want to follow up, there is still a lot of communication on the different pages. And what was done specifically also before the departure was to create and get some interviews done in local TVs, in radio. Also, you can see on the left-hand side, there was a lot of presentation to get the adventure and the entrepreneurship and the feminine competition from our team, which is an international team. We wanted to give also views and inspire eventually some women who are also mothers like us and wish to be able to share nice moments by at the same time being general managers of companies, and get the inspiration that it's possible, and that you can also by a good preparation enjoy these nice moments during the preparation, during the rally, and afterward. So there was a lot of moments that were shared with our sponsors, that were shared with few people. We also could manage to do some webinars with during the COVID time, because the rally was postponed 5 times. So we, in the meantime, we were able to try to communicate together, as you can see on some specific topics about our businesses with cooperative exploitation and so on. And during the adventure, you could have 2 types of communication. The first one that was done from the rally, who, as Mayenga, there were some sponsors on these TVs like M6, W9, and 60AR. And there were a lot of communication also on itself, the rally. When you go to Rallye Aïcha des Gazelles du Maroc and you put the number of the team, you can follow up the team every day. And then there were some more communication done also by the social networks that were driven by Solène on the LinkedIn and Facebook pages. And because we also want to show the people that this is even if it's a very challenging moment, you can also show that your team, because we are both managers of our companies and we have a team, and you can show to our friends and family and customers that this challenging moment is also showing our will and our wish to perseverate and pursue competitive spirit every day. So after the rally, we could manage also to get into this moment organized from BPI France, which is a big generation and business generation. And we could manage to give some interviews to about 40,000 people being presented and being at this moment in the Accor Hotel Arena in Paris. And we now also try to move on with our team by inspiring companies who want to get into new roads of collaborative exploitation or externalization of human resources for the sales and marketing. So we try to collaborate and promote all these moments. The OSCI export team, as you can see, which was our main sponsor, and also the members of OSCI were main sponsors in the rally. And this is also why we are trying now to still promote. And I think, Anne, you can maybe finalize this by saying that during the last universities, we inspired a few teams, and you are a member of a new challenge.
Exactly. The OSCI is our federation, professional organization, and as you understand, they were the main sponsor for the two teams, and a lot of our colleagues sponsored us as well. And during our last convention at the beginning of the month, where we were telling the stories and give the result of, you know, the post and or the communication that we did and finalize to tell and, about the adventure. We said, because when I came back, I wanted to have another project for this year, which is going to be the Trek Gazelle. So it's exactly the same thing, but you just walk in the desert and you don't drive. So you don't run. Huh? It's a walk in the desert between 15 and 20 kilometers per day for 4 days. And so I subscribed to that, and with two other, you know, girlfriends from the same federation. So we were saying, okay, it was a wonderful experience, and actually in November 2022, we're going to take another challenge, which is the Trek Gazelle. We actually are two teams already. If there's more want to come, and then you had like, you know, a lot of girls who came to us and say, yeah, we want to be in, So now we're like 12, 4 teams of 3. So it's going to be, we're going to be under the same name, Les Trekkers de l'OSCI. And so the communication is going to be probably, I mean, obviously pretty strong, because it's only women from the international business. We all run our companies, so it's about leadership for women, international women in international business, and sport-oriented women, because the Trek is pretty sportive, obviously. And the taste for challenge and adventure. So that's it's a lot there, and we're pretty happy to have another challenge for the end of the year. So and we were pretty happy with Cécile to inspire some of our colleagues to do something that you overcome your capacity, and we were pretty happy about that, and to give that energy to our colleague.
Great, thank you, Anne. So I think, yeah, I think we got now almost done with our history and expertise. Of course, we're happy to answer questions if you do have some. I don't see at the moment some questions. Are there some questions from the participants over there?
You can shut the presentation. Okay, great.
Yeah, that's it. Usually there's the question about if we want to participate again, and that's a question that I like to answer, because of course, as Anne was mentioning, she's doing the trekking by walking, which I do not think I'm an expert in that. I'm more expert in the driving. So we also discussed the participation that we could have again together, because we wish we have reached a certain level of learning to drive into the desert, to navigate into the desert. So we would like to share maybe another participation in 2024, but at the moment, let's concentrate on what Anne has to do today with the trek, and then we'll start with the second adventure later. So that's usually something people ask. If there are more questions, another question is about what was the moment that is a bit impressive, as we were mentioning, was that night and what we took from this adventure was really that we have the resources which are, we thought we are already competitive people, but by living this moment when you drive and navigate 15, 60, 20 hours per day, you need to go deeper inside and get the resources. Main questions we usually receive is also regarding the price of participation. Maybe Anne, you want to give some information about that?
The price of the participation, we took the package, the company package, which was about 22,000 euros. That includes the participation of the competition and all the hotels, the boats, and all the organization, the booking and everything, which was good because as we had 5 reports, we didn't have to deal with the rebooking and everything. So that was good. And the amount we raised between the sponsorship in money and in nature, we reached more or less 50,000. So, and we were able to cut a check for the association Cœur de Gazelle that we just sent a few days ago of 3,500 euros. So
yeah, the budget is usually because there are different ways of dealing with the budget. Of course, normal budget is around 30,000 euro. For this edition, we had to pay more because there were a few reports, 3, 4, 5 times,
exactly,
which was giving us more expenses for the rental car. For example, we decided to rent the 4x4 car, 4x4 wheel drive, and the fact that all the stickers were put and ready for the first participation, because we were actually ready the week before the first departure, and we knew only one week before the first departure that we could not manage to take this departure. And so the cost, because the stickers were already on the car, and we had to pay a little bit extra to keep the car. The fact that we decided to rent the the 4x4 car was that the company to which we rent the car was having mechanicals who were following us during the rally. So for us, it was our first participation. We were feeling more confident by having somebody whom we could rely on if something happened on the car. So that was part of our decision. Usually we have people asking us, why did you select this car or another car? And of course, we have different steps. We know that the majority of the first winners, they usually have different kind of cars. This particular car, which is a pickup, for us was good as a first participation because we could manage to get a little bit space for our staff, and also having this mechanical were with us during the rally. So there's a few more companies who can rent, such as Bumper Off-Road, who is renting more Jeep. So it's a bit more expensive, but of course a Jeep is a bigger engine and bigger power. So that's really depending on what you wish to decide to do during the rally. So basically that's the choice for the car. Are there some more questions?
Another thing is that people ask us is, did we switch from one day to the next between driving and navigation? There's a lot of Gazelle who do that, to share the experience. We were not comfortable with that. We prefer to remain in our role. So Cécile was driving and I was navigating, and we feel that we're able to learn more and to get better every day because we are dealing with the same role on a day-to-day basis, and that's how you can better yourself along the challenge as well. So that was important for us. I mean, we wouldn't change role from for nothing, for sure.
Yeah, that was our decision, but of course there are lots of different Gazelles who think differently, who have different thoughts, and that was our decision. And we really think this is another moment that we discussed before, and this is also a question that we usually have, is how do you manage to have a team that is really working together all during the time of the rally. And as Anne was mentioning, we took all decisions together, which is also a very fundamental rule for being successful, is whatever the problems, what we were facing, we always took decisions together, because even the objectives of the rally, we were having 3 objectives. The objectives was to be safe, and not to do damage the car, and take some good times about the rally. And this is what we did. And when we realized after a couple of days that we were behaving like competitive people, we were happy to move to another objective, but we did it together and during the time of the rally. So that's very, very something very important, to decide all the time together. And another thing we decided also before was, if there is a decision to take, the expert should take the decision. So if the navigation, if Anne is dealing the navigation and she's 100% sure we should take this decision, we should follow what she decides. And we did that. I remember one moment we were stopped in the middle of nowhere with 4 cars telling us that we were not exactly on the map. where we thought we were, and as one telling me, no, I'm sure we are there. And when you have a few people telling you, no, you're not there, you have to make sure that what you decide is either to follow the 4 people who are telling you you're not there, or follow what you think you are there. And we discussed that 10 minutes. And finally, okay, we follow what you are sure. I understand by the explanation you give me that you are sure. So I follow you, and where we go, if it's wrong or right, we decide, we will assume the decision together. So that was also a very important moment. And I'm happy I followed your decision, because as a very good navigator, you were right, and I have to say. There are a few questions coming in. Diane, you want to answer?
What you need to win, or what win would look like aside from finish and enjoy? I think we have one of the winner here.
Exactly.
Julie.
We should ask if
Julie, we recognize you. I thank you there, listening to us.
So if Julie, you want to give us,
because she finished number 2, so that's very impressive. I mean, I can imagine, but just by finishing 29, where we were like, wow, you know, we're so happy. It just proves ourselves a lot of things, that you're able to do things that you went, basically everything you do on a daily basis during the rally, it's something that you don't know. I mean, or you didn't know a few days before. You know, we didn't know about navigation in the desert. We didn't know about driving in the desert. We didn't know about how to read a map. We didn't know, I mean, we knew nothing. And at the end of the day, you're able to do it. So this is, you know, it just tells you how much.
Yes, Julie, you can activate the sound and give us and share. Please share, because you finished second in this rally. So if you want to share your views about this, we are.
Tu peux lui activer?
I'm trying to see where I can activate. Let me see. Yes, I think you can join us now, Julie. Can you hear us, Julie?
Yes, I do hear you. Can you hear me? Hello, ladies. Hi.
How are you? We don't see you. Can you put your video? No.
I'm trying to see, but I'm not sure the video is on. If you want to activate the video, Julie, because for me, it's activated.
I don't know how to do.
So Julie's team, they finished number 2, and that's very funny, because we met Julie when we were in the queue for, you know, to get into the boat for Tanger, and we were next to each other. And we were like, oh my God, it's our first time. And she was like, okay, you see, it's fun, you know, it's, I'm here for the 5th time or 6th time. And I'm joining my Gazelle there. So I'm driving on my own for now. And she had that nice car. And that's so funny, because along the rally, you know, we're like, oh my God, Julie, she's so good. And at the end, she finished number 2.
So Julie, maybe you can share your views about what you feel when you finish on the podium.
Well, first thing I have to say is, obviously you feel super proud, because this year has been particularly tough with the temperatures, with some new conditions. We never got used to such conditions, because normally the rally is in March, and in March you have something like 15-20 degrees less. So it's easier for yourself as an individual, but it's also easier for the car. So it has, this year was completely different and was tougher. That's my feeling, at least. But more generally, I think, and that's why Cécile and Anne, I think, did super well. The best advice I could give is, never put pressure on you, because putting pressure on what you're doing can just lead to mistakes in terms of decisions, mistakes in terms of how you handle the car, because the car is your third teammate. You never have to forget that. Without the car, you can't go where you want to go. Even if you have a good driver, a good co-pilot, but the car doesn't work well, no way you can do something good. So, but never put pressure on you, and that's what we've done with Sophie, with my teammate. We've just tried to do the best we could every day. Just be happy of our decisions. We've had some, I would say really tough times, because Sophie wanted me to go that way, and I didn't want to because I was so exhausted, and I wanted to take an easier way, but she did go this way, insisting, and I went this way, and basically we did well, so that was a good decision. But it was a special year, let's say this way.
Anyhow, congratulations, you did a very good job.
Amazing job.
Thank you, guys.
Is there maybe, there are 3 minutes left, is there maybe one last question, or if not, maybe Julie, you could eventually give a little bit more advices, because you participated to this rally 6 times, I think.
Yeah, 6 times. The thing is that I think maybe you can let us know, but I think when you do this rally for the first time, you don't do it like I did it. So your advice is the one you gave to the attendees were the right ones. I think the way you explained the role between the teammates is super important, to how to deal with your teammates, and from the day you decide you do the rally until the day you are at Essaouira, just celebrating the fact you finished this rally. So that's very important. Just do it as a team, because that's a teamwork from day one to the end. And basically the best success is just to finish it, and finish it well. So, and congrats, girl, because you did it super well. So you answered the question, will you go back? Because when you come back from the rally, you always want to go back. So I hope I'll see you again next time when I'll be there. So we'll try to coordinate the participations.
Yes.
And thanks for the initiative as well of doing.
Thank you, Julie. Are you leaving in March or next year?
No. That year I have a wedding to prepare, so it will take some of my time.
Yes, for sure.
But I will go with my niece in the desert in October. So that's like a trek for a parent and kids. So I will share that with my niece end of October for 1 week. So that time I will share with my family, and not only with my teammates.
Great. Thank you so much for all the participants. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Julie, for sharing that with us.
And let's hope maybe we can coordinate our next participation for 2024. Bye-bye, everybody, and thanks again. Bye-bye.
And we will share this in replay, as a lot of people ask us. Thank you. Bye.